the camaraderie that running brings forth, but also raising funds for local charities that need the help, like the shelter for abused women and children, foster children, people that can't afford to drive themselves to get cancer treatment. That hits you pretty hard right in the middle of your chest, and it also makes you feel thankful that, you have the ability to help people and have fun doing it.
Welcome back to Everybody Loves Naples. We are joined by a very special guest, someone I've known a long time, Mitch Norgart, the president of Gulf Coast Runners, which has been here how many years now?
51 years.
51 years.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It is.
You guys are non-for-profit, 503c,
Mm-hmm.
the staple of anyone who's into races in Southwest Florida. You definitely know who this is and who Gulf Coast Runners is. I sure do. Ran my first half marathon last year with you guys, but
I remember seeing you there.
we did the Turkey Trot, which is now the Thanksgiving Day race, for years downtown.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited to hear about.
Yeah. Thank
the
you
process.
for having me. It's this is something that I've been on the board of directors since 1990. So 35 years, and been president for, I think, 17 years. And the only reason that I've been on for this long is because nobody else wants to be president. It's, but we've got a great board of directors, and years ago we, voted unanimously to only support local charities. And we used to do like an American Cancer Society 5-mile run around St. Anne's School in downtown Naples. We used to do American Heart. And we then started hearing about all of these executives, and it's okay, but these executives for these huge associations were making multi-million dollars, and none of the money that we were raising for these charities was staying local. So we voted to start supporting local nonprofits, like Cancer Alliance of Naples, and not all illness related, but Friends of Foster Children Forever, which is now Fostering Success, Fun Time Nursery. So we try to raise money for other local charities. We're a charity ourselves, and so we want to support other local charities. And we help those charities not only raise money through race registration fees, but also help them get sponsors to, for instance, pay for the race shirts or for the awards or for the food and beverage. And it usually turns out to be a profitable situation for a nonprofit to where they can utilize those funds to, help others.
Sure.
And so it's, and that's what gives me a great deal of satisfaction, is being a part of an organization that's not only a nonprofit, but being a nonprofit that helps other nonprofits is pretty cool, especially in a place like Naples.
Heck yeah. And so long-standing in our area. I mean, if you're a runner, if you're an active person, it definitely helps that you like to run.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, it's interesting. I'm the youngest of 5 kids in my family and the only boy. And so, yeah.
Bless you, man. Bless you.
Thank you. Well, most people, Jay, would have said I must have been spoiled rotten, but
my older sisters are brutal from what I know about them.
Yeah, I don't have any. Thank God.
Well, my sisters, certainly babied me, but my dad was a typical 50s type dad, and was very, very strict with me. And at a very young age, he noticed that I was hyperactive because the acronym ADHD or ADD didn't even exist when I was a kid, but I was just
hyper,
full of energy. And, and growing up in Illinois in the winter months, from our driveway where it met the street to our front door was like 200 feet or something like that. And my dad, being in construction, and they didn't have like running watches back then. They had Timexes.
Yeah, right.
He would say, okay, I'm going to time you from the front door out to the street on the driveway and back. And that was his way of getting me to settle down. But at the age of 6, I thought he was trying to get me to go run fast, you know? And after like 6 or 7 times, I would be exhausted, maybe 20 degrees outside. But it would settle me down to the point where I could concentrate.
Sure.
And, and that's how they didn't have the words Ritalin or, the drugs that settled kids down. You've just told your kid to go run and then come back in when you're tired,
Yeah.
And so running became my passion because it not only did I get fast, but I also settled down and was tolerable to be around,
Your medication.
Yeah, that was my natural medication. And so running, I ran cross country all through and track all through high school. And University of Florida, I wasn't fast enough to be on cross country or track, but Gainesville has a very fertile running environment, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
So every weekend, my roommates and I would be doing 5Ks, at least 5Ks. And they always had a couple of beer trucks there too. So
it's a
we'd be
perfect
social
by
8:30 in the morning,
And you feel good about yourself. You're like, I just ran. I can hang out with my buddies, have a beer or two. I love that environment with running. That's so true.
Yeah,
Running
it was
is
great.
a drug.
And so my sister Kathy got me into doing triathlons after I got out of college. That became kind of cool to, do triathlons. And then I started training in 1989 for the New York City Marathon and joined Gulf Coast Runners. And then they lassoed me into getting on the board of directors. And not the rest is history, but 20 marathons later and, making a lot of friends within the running community. And, the camaraderie is amazing.
It really is.
Yeah, you're probably one of the most tenured runners I've ever met. And on the side of that, my question to you is, being active runner for 50 years, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
What have you seen change as far as run culture goes, or the running industry and all that stuff over those 50 years?
I'll back up a little bit, Jay. Gulf Coast Runners was actually formed 51 years ago by a group of what you and I would call hippies, kind of long-haired dudes running from the Cove Inn in downtown Naples to Loudermilk Park, shirtless with like tennis shoes.
Yeah, without a traffic light, by
with
the way.
anything. But what they would do is they parked, one of the guys had a pickup truck. He would put a cooler in the back of the pickup truck, park it in Loudermilk Park. Another guy would pick him up, drive him to Cove Inn, and like 5 or 6 guys would run and then sit on the back of the tailgate and drink beer after they ran that however many miles that was. So to add that to where running is today, they didn't really even have in the early 70s dedicated running shoes. Tennis shoes is what people called everything, But New Balance came out, and Frank Shorter, who won the 1972 Olympics, really became the spokesperson for running shoes. And then Nike got into it, and, everybody then followed suit. Asics, Saucony, now Hoka on.
Oh, so many brands.
There's so many brands, Brooks. But it started becoming kind of a cult where it was less short distance running. It was more long distance running. And so the marathon kind of got these addictive personalities going because you almost have to have addictive personality to go out and train for 3 hours for 6 months just to run a 26-mile race, right? And
for fun, mind you.
Yeah, for fun. Crazy how that works.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's evolved to the point now where racing has become more participative, where people aren't as concerned about their time. It's showing up and doing it and being a part of a group that leads a relatively healthy lifestyle. And there's still, like, we have a beer tent at our half marathon in Cambiar Park. There's nothing wrong with having a couple of Mick Ultras after you've run 13 miles, right? There's got to be some sort of a reward.
For sure.
But I think it's become more participative. And it's not as exclusive to addictive personalities or speed demons or people trying to set PRs. It's more just being a part of a group.
Yeah. I want to add to that because I feel like I've been seeing stuff online, maybe on my algorithm on Instagram, of like that running has become maybe similar to golf. I know it's become a cool thing to do for whether it's young families or millennials or Gen Z, whatever, because it's a group thing. It's also relatively different than golf in that it's relatively inexpensive to, I mean, you could run outside, you could have a treadmill, you could have a gym, but it's all you really need is a good pair of running shoes, I will say.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. And some willingness, and you can do it, and then you meet people and you have these personal goals, PRs, even if it's just to train, let alone then race, and there's this feeling that you get. And it's so cost effective.
Yeah.
I mean, the races, even the half marathon in Naples, I do want to touch on that. That's Naples, that's Southwest Florida's biggest race of the year. Am I wrong?
In terms of, I mean, it is
popular?
like the premier event, but
Premier.
the Thanksgiving race gets about 5,000 participants.
Oh my gosh.
That's true. Yeah.
The half marathon gets about 15 to 1,600.
Yeah.
But, you know, to be in Southwest Florida, to get that many people who want to run a half marathon through Port Royal, through the most beautiful streets of Naples, is a feat in and of itself. And the city really doesn't want more than that amount of people on those streets on a Sunday morning. And so we can accommodate up to about 2,000, but we're more comfortable managing 15 to 1,600 runners. Thanksgiving is, because it's a 5K, I've ordered 5,000 shirts and 5,000 medals for this year's race.
Oh, that's great. It's so
Yeah.
symbolic.
And-
No, it's been full.
Oh yeah,
I
and we
mean-
fill up. And what's also really cool is every day I get a readout, a printout from Run Sign Up, how many people and what the names of the people who have signed up the day before. And today's Tuesday. On Sunday, one family with 16 or 17 family members signed up from New Jersey.
Oh my goodness.
So cool.
And so there are so many big families who converge on Naples
Yeah.
to be together during Thanksgiving weekend, that what better thing to do before you gorge yourself at 3:00 in the afternoon with turkey and
Sure.
stuffing and mashed potatoes? Go run a 5K.
Yeah.
And it gives you, it rationalizes why you're going to consume so much, 8 hours later or whatever. But
It's true. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also a way to see local friends that you might not see at your Thanksgiving dinner. That's one of my favorite reasons to go down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get to
Yeah.
see people on a holiday,
Yeah.
do something that's relatively hard for some if they haven't done one. And it's a way to just connect. It's great.
yeah, and we serve Jake and I, our vice president, go to Costco. We order from Costco 125, 130 massive pumpkin pies.
They're so good.
And so we serve those in Cambiar Park.
Right after you're done, and it's like the
Amazing.
best.
Yeah. And some years we've done apple cider. Sometimes we've had Naples Pathways Coalition will bring coffee. And so, but we try to make it as, post-race friendly and
Yeah.
fun. Because a
Right.
lot of people want to get going and they got to go and put the turkey in the oven, or do something that, that means something for the rest of the day instead of
Right.
standing around Cambiar Park.
Yeah.
But it's fun to have that. I mean, there's literally 7,000 people in Cambiar Park
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving morning. And the proceeds, if I may say so, is we give anywhere from $18,000 to $25,000 in our proceeds to St. Matthew's House every year.
Amazing.
And a lot of people will bring canned goods, then they'll bring clothing as well. So St. Matt's brings our big box truck, and people just kind of but they put
They
the
load
stuff
it
in
in.
there. As a nonprofit, St. Matthew's House was by far our number one selection in terms of which charity we could support. I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with
No.
the viability of supporting the homeless shelter here,
And they've done so much work in our community, and they've their resources have grown.
Yeah.
So it's really, I was just on the phone with the seller this morning. Their company that they were going to donate their furniture to was unavailable. And I said, well, did you check number one vendor on my list? Because they're probably available. And sure enough. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, they've become discerning because I had the same thing happen not too long ago. Clients, I said, you got to reach out to St. Matt's. St. Matt's made her take pictures of her furniture
Oh yeah.
and send them because they don't want,
They don't take certain things, and they
No.
don't take furniture that, has a lot of damage.
No.
And they, they'll dispatch, but they've got it down. They've organized it.
Yeah.
I got to give them some credit. 'Cause
Totally.
then they respond to your email. They said, this doesn't work. This does. Here's the dates we're available. So shout out to St. Matt's.
Yeah.
And I know another big Southwest Florida event that happens every year is Cars on Fifth, and they put a lot of proceeds towards them as well.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about this post-race effort because I know probably a lot of the magic of these races and of these events that you guys do with Gulf Coast Runners is like, that post-race hangout. Like that's kind of what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that and how you've been able to kind of, use your background in hospitality to kind of make that experience a little bit better for the runners?
Yeah, so for instance, the half marathon, we have Tammy Lou, who's on our board, is also a massage therapist. And so she recruits a massage therapy group to set up tents, and they're giving massages post-race. And we always have a great DJ.
Yes.
And the DJ is on stage. Every DJ we've ever had over the last 36 years has been a personality, So we just try to keep it not a festival atmosphere, but just one where people want to hang out. And one of the funniest things that I love is when I'm on stage at Cambiar Park and 60-year-old runners are dancing to the music that the DJ, and it's not like, these aren't 25 or 35. These are 60 and 70-year-olds who just ran 13 miles, and they're dancing with a beer in their hand, and they're having a blast.
Having a blast.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. And, and even if you don't win in your age group or, a master's or, first, second, third place overall, you want to be there to support your friends who did win and who did get to come up on stage and get their medal or their trophy or whatever. And so I think the camaraderie, as we were speaking earlier, goes a long ways in keeping people there post-race to the point where they want to enjoy the moment and the accomplishment. And again, just finishing the race is very satisfying to a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah.
I think the Naples half, to your point, the Thanksgiving Day run is the biggest, the most attendance for downtown, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a shorter race, so more people are willing to do it. But I would say for the Naples half, when I had done it last year, I was so impressed by the way everything was organized from when you go, to Sugden to get your shirt and your registration. I mean, the emails that you'd get, it just felt, you're not showing up completely surprised. You prepare a runner for what to expect. And that was kind of took the pressure off. It's like, okay, my goal is to finish. And GCR has done everything else, and here I am. That was really nice. I also have to say that when I was doing some research, I was like, the Naples half, for people who run all year, we're in marathon season now, right?
Yeah.
October, November, basically, the big ones.
Yeah.
So when it comes January, a lot of runners don't have anywhere to go because everything is in a colder climate. So people actually fly into Naples because it's ideal weather for a January race. And is it a qualifying race?
It is. It's an Olympic qualifier. In 2015, Runner's World, they survey their subscribers. The Naples half marathon was rated the number one half marathon in the United States.
Wow.
And we've been rated in like the top 10 for many of the years since then because of it's like a destination. It's warmer weather in the winter. It's fast, it's flat, and it's well organized. And we've been putting it on, I think, for now 37 or 38 years. This will be the 37th, I think, coming up. And so you'd think that after all those years, we'd have it pretty well dialed in. But Donna Hollowell is our volunteer coordinator. She does an amazing job of scheduling the volunteers. Our relationship with the city of Naples is stellar. They know that when we go into Baker Park, Cambiar Park, Fleischman Park to put on a race, we leave those parks better than what we found them. We pick up trash that was not even part of our event, and we make sure that everything is immaculate before we leave that property. And the relationship with the city is vital because that's where majority of our races are in the city. We used to go out to the North Collier Regional Park. We used to go out into the county, but we found that our relationship with the Naples City Police and the community services people for the city of Naples it was symbiotic. Our relationship has become so, it's like unspoken that they know what we're going to do. We know what they're going to do or what they're not going to do.
Sure.
There's been a couple of glitches recently with the Homeland Security. It was in the Naples Daily News that Homeland Security was going all over the United States looking at public places that were vulnerable to potential terrorism. And Homeland Security deemed Cambiar Park as a very at-risk park, that it wasn't protected, particularly when there were public events happening in Cambiar in that park. So the city has somehow, not completely, but have come up with a way to protect participants of any event, like empty bowls. And so we're kind of waiting to see if we're going to have to foot the bill for more barricades, for more police protection, which, we as a board have already decided that we will pay for it in order for the event to be safe.
Sure.
And for it to continue, and it could be up, it could be $20,000 in police and barricades, which is a sad commentary on what's going on in our world.
Right.
But, you can't stop.
No,
just because
right.
you got to protect people. There's a cost to that.
And with such a strong foundation
Yeah.
of a board, of an association or a non-for-profit that has some great roots to lean on, I mean, it makes it that much more reliable of an event. So I'm sure the stakes and the pressures is on in some regard.
Well, and for the half marathon, so we own several races, our own, and then we do races for other charities. We have given out $900,000 in college and trade school scholarships for a little rinky-dink nonprofit in Naples, Florida is pretty darn good.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
And what this might do is not necessarily negative, but if we have to fork over $20,000 to protect our participants, we'll absolutely do that. But it does kind of dig into our youth development fund and our youth development team, and getting, it still will allow us to do a lot with kids, but it might cut into our scholarship program a bit, which, maybe we'll find a wealthy donor who will give us that 20 grand.
There's got to be one around here somewhere. It
Who's
is
out
Naples,
there?
Florida.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's the half marathon is our premier event. Yeah, and 4th of July, we usually get about 1,000 people for that. And so of the 4 or 5 races that we have, and the donations that we get, when people register for on Run Sign Up, you have an opportunity to donate now. And I can't begin to tell you how many $5 and $10 donations add up to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Wow.
So, and every time I sign up for a race, I'm not ashamed to say that I've given $10.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to.
You raise a lot. It's okay.
$100. But whenever I do an out of town race, I do the same thing. Only if that race organization is a nonprofit, If it's a for-profit, no,
Yeah.
I won't donate.
It's so important, though, for runners to hear this, and new runners especially, when they're getting into this and they're like, where should I sign up for a race? I always say, look at Gulf Coast Runners. It's the biggest one I know of in our area. But when they don't know, why is this a run club? Why do they put it on? It's non-for-profit, and it raises money for our community. Then it all of a sudden feels like, shoot, I'm doing something good for myself, and I get to see my friends, and I get to PR. Like, there's just so many running distance has like changed the way I view almost everything.
Good.
Training for the half marathon last year was like a spiritual journey for me. It was about the training. The race itself was great. It was hard and very humid that day.
Mm-hmm, I know.
Whew. I was not used to drinking any electrolytes.
I'm not in control of that.
No, I know. Come on, Mitch. But yeah, the training itself, and I wanted to touch really quickly though on you spoke about sneakers. Did you know that he has a running store?
I did peek out the website a little bit this morning. Talk to us a little bit about the run store and how that came to be.
Oh my gosh. Well, two guys that I started training with for the 1990 New York City Marathon, we all decided we were going to go to a running store in Fort Myers because Naples didn't have a running store. If you wanted running shoes, you'd go to J.C. Penney's in the Coastland Mall. Yeah. Right? And
That was your option, yeah.
Yeah.
nothing wrong with J.C. Penney's. However, there was a running store in Fort Myers on Colonial Boulevard called On the Run. And so we kind of became friends with the husband and wife team who owned that because they were carrying true running shoes, like the New Balance 1500, which was Frank Shorter's favorite marathon shoe. So I had to get those.
Did they work? Did they help?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, they worked. I ran New York actually 4 times, and my time improved every time I ran it. So, and I ran in New Balance at the time.
Okay.
And the funny thing is that when older male runners come into Naples on the Run, they ask for New Balance.
Oh,
Especially if they've been running for many years or decades, as it may
Sure.
be. So anyway, Arthur and Perry and I decided that we got tired of driving to Fort Myers and so we offered Mike the opportunity to manage a store in Naples that we would own, the 3 of us. And he said, "Yeah, I'll manage both stores. It's your store, it's not mine." And so 2 weeks before we opened in Naples at the Gateway Center, which is, where Panera Bread is on 41 and Golden Gate, and Food and Thought.
That was the original On the Run.
Yeah,
I remember it. That's the one I went
That's
to
right.
for my first pair of running
Exactly.
shoes.
And
high
so we opened up that store, and Perry and Arthur kind of bowed out after like 20 some years, and I bought them out. And so now I've had it for 34 years since 1991. And it's been a great place for, not only because that's where packet pickup is for most of the races when you go to get your number or your race shirt, but now it's located on 10th Street over off of Central Avenue in downtown Naples. And it was a good move for us because a lot of the people that come into the store, not only runners, but they're also walkers. And this might sound like I'm selling myself out, but my daughter, Stephanie, runs it for me. And she said, "Dad, so many people come in wanting pickleball shoes or court shoes." So now we carry on court shoes because
my gosh.
pickleball has become such a huge thing. And interestingly, I know probably 7 to 10 people who are runners who are now playing pickleball.
Yeah.
It's like a transitioning thing. But yeah, it's been a expensive treehouse for me for 34 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a funny way of putting it. So being involved with that store and owning it for over 30 years, what is your favorite shoe to wear?
Oh, it's interesting. I don't wear New Balance as much as I used to. I'm wearing Ons.
Okay.
And Hoka is too spongy for me, but I like walking around in Hoka's.
Same.
But On is probably, that's an On.
Got them on right there.
And these are Cloud 6s. And so I can run, like I run 3 days a week, 5 to 6 miles, and I can run in these.
No, let me see again.
They're kind of, I don't like a lot of substance to my shoes.
Right.
I kind of want to feel the road.
Yeah.
And I'm 200 pounds, so I don't need more spongy than I already have, you know?
That's actually shocking to me, though, about that, because I see Ons and I'm like, yeah, a good lifestyle shoe. Anytime I tried them on
I know.
to run, I'm like, it's either not enough. It's something, but that's what's so specific about your running shoes. It's like you have to try a lot of things at a local store to know, what works. Because I could
Cloud
never...
Stratus, there's probably 3 or 4 models of Ons that have more support, have more cushion. But I like these simply because you can wear them for everyday shoes. But I can go. I wouldn't encourage people to train for a marathon with these. But Cloud running shoes do have marathon and endurance distance running shoes. So Ons would be
a lot
my
of people
favorite.
loves the Ons. Yeah. What do you like?
Well, I like the cheaper option. That's what I like. I mean, I just landed on Brooks as of recently, and
Brooks is great.
I had a great time with my first pair, so I bought a second pair.
Yeah.
But I'm open to new suggestions. I could be swayed.
I had this whole thing last year on Brooks, so I trained in Brooks glycerins, and I like the 19 or the 20 model, the Stealth Fit. Mm-hmm. And then they stopped making them, so I went online to some random Champs, store of the one size 7.5 that was left in white and pink. I didn't care about the color. I was just like, I want that shoe. Ran through those, couldn't find them again, so bought the glycerin, whatever model they had right before the race. Don't ever do that. It's like, running
Break
for
'em
dummies. Yeah. But I'm like, it's the exact same. No, it wasn't the exact same shoe. Anyway, bruised toenails and the rest, but whatever. Brooks is great. I switched to Asics this year. I don't know why. I don't know if I'll be training in them for the rest of until January, but
Asics is, they've kept up with their technology. Same with Saucony.
yes.
And you can't go wrong with like the top 6 running shoes that are out there, because the only misnomer that I'll say, and it's not a slight to Nike in general, but Nike running shoes are narrow.
Yes.
And so if you're over 40 and you try to squeeze your foot in, because your feet get wider as you get older, right? Nike still hasn't really adapted to adjusting to the aging running population. Court shoes, basketball shoes, stuff like that, they're great. Nike running shoes are really geared for people under 40. My opinion, I'm not an expert, except that I've been selling running shoes for 34 years. And when people come in and ask, if they're 55 years old and they want Nikes, we go, well, you can get them at Snyderman's, or you can get them at another. We'll plug other places if they're hell bent on getting a pair of Nikes. And George Dondenville was our manager for like 23 years. And do you remember Seinfeld, the soup Nazi?
Yes.
Well, we called George the shoe Nazi because
I remember George actually.
And George was very knowledgeable, and he would say
straight up, nope,
you're not wearing those shoes. Those are not for you. And so,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, he was funny but very definitive and but knew what he was talking about.
It's helpful when you're going in and there are so many brands. There are so many selections for a runner, whether it's at your store or a different. It's a lot. It's overwhelming even for someone who has been running. So when someone goes in and they need that guidance, they need that, nope, try this on. Okay, what's the feedback? All right, let's fit you for this. That is so important. It's like, not to make the analogy to golf again, but our community, right?
Yeah.
Golf club, how does it fit? Why does this one work for someone and doesn't work for someone else? A running shoe, I think, is the same.
Well, I couldn't agree more.
And so Naples on the Run, check it out.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yes.
Yeah. What trends have you seen as far as Naples specifically over these last, 30 years, even last 20 years? we always talk about the fact that there's a couple things that are very true to everybody in Naples, and that is we have an older population generally, and we have a very active population. How does that play into your business, and what have you seen change over those last 30 years?
Well, specifically to running and walking, runners used to kind of make fun of people who walked. And it was almost like, oh, they're not good enough because they're not running. And it was kind of like this cult versus lazy, you know?
Yeah.
But now there are so many aging runners who are saying, you know what? I kind of like walking,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's the thing that I'll do today and tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, as long as you're getting out there and putting one foot in front of the other, why should you criticize somebody for doing that? The other trend, Jay, that I think is very noticeable right now is that there are smaller run groups forming, like women's run groups, neighborhood run groups, North Naples, Bayshore.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that a lot of them are singles. A lot of them are, 25 to 35. And again, it's the camaraderie that running brings in a latent kind of an effect.
Sure.
And it's also a healthy activity that might be followed up at Anchor Lab for a beer,
Sure.
but okay, that's all right. Yeah. And so a lot of those people that are forming these smaller clubs, they're not trying to overthrow a Gulf Coast runners. They come to our races.
That's right.
You know, and so it's cool when I, as a matter of fact, went to Anchor Lab with my daughter Stephanie and my son-in-law Matt and their daughter Blair, maybe 2 months ago, and the Bayshore Run Club was meeting on this Wednesday. There had been 30 people.
Yeah.
They went out for like a 2 or 3 mile run, came back and hung out, and it was just cool to see. And I knew probably 10 or 15 of them who were coming to our Labor Day race.
Yeah.
And so, I love the fact that people are gathering for stuff like running, and whatever the activity may be. But it just so happens that they help my organization
Sure.
by coming and signing up for our races. It's not like they're trying to have their own events.
No,
that,
and that's been a thing around, Bonita Run Club started this year. That's grown like crazy. And then all these run clubs and different gyms and boutique fitness start coming together doing events. And then the grand meetup is, the Naples Half Marathon.
Yeah.
Like who's going? And so
it's like their version of bringing their family for the Thanksgiving Day race.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's become so, I don't know, maybe it hasn't changed or maybe my perspective has changed. It doesn't feel like competition.
No.
It all just feels like, excuse me, where do you live in town? Oh, that's probably closest to your daily, your twice a week run.
Yeah.
Go meet there. And then we're all going to go and do this race together.
Right.
We see it here. And then the running community online, because of that, for 25 to 35-year-olds has just blown up. And that's why I say now it's becoming cool, because it's also not about how fast you are. If you even run, you might be a walker. Nobody cares. Just like as long as you come and then join us at Anchor Lab later, everyone's good. And when I went to Bayshore Runners maybe 2 years ago for the first time, and I don't usually run with people. I'm kind of the opposite. Running for me is like my time to just like zone out kind of and not talk or be with anybody. But I went to this run club and it was a blast. And here I am like, trying to keep my normal pace. And I'm like nobody's like stressed. Everyone's just like slower pace, chit-chatting. I'm like, oh, okay. We're here to socialize. Might get a workout, might not. And it was I don't know, refreshing.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Something free for the community to do. And you can donate and be a part of something when you go to a race.
Have you heard of the Naples Beer and Running
Yes.
group? Well,
I missed it last. It was just a couple weeks ago. I was out of town.
Well, Todd Saunders, who's been a triathlete and a running friend of mine, and he's actually been on our board of directors at Gulf Coast Runners. He started Naples Beer and Running many years ago, and like on a Tuesday, we'd meet a group at Tommy Bahama's on 3rd Street and run to two other bars and then end up at Tommy Bahama's, and you would have a beer at each one of those bars. Yeah. And, it wasn't a drunk fest. It was a way to, incorporate a healthy lifestyle with
bar hopping.
Yeah.
With a light beer,
Light beer,
and you're supporting local businesses. What can you say?
Yeah. And so now Todd meets at the mini bar on Central. And I think he probably had 150 people at the last one. And you pay and you get a shirt and you might get a beer, I'm not sure. But he now gives the proceeds to Snip Collier. And Tom Koepp is the founder of Snip Collier Spay and Neuter Initiative Project, where he spays and neuters cats and dogs for free for underprivileged, families out in Immokalee and,
Sure.
other areas of Collier County. And we do our Memorial Day race is for Snip Collier. It's a Snip Collier 5K. So Todd has now added on to that with his Naples Beer and Running beer runs.
Yeah.
And it goes now to Sidebar, the Mini Bar, Brookside.
Yeah, they pass over there. Yeah, I think I met Todd at the Picayune 10-miler.
Yeah,
in February. That's a fun one. We should get the crew to go to that. That's like a nice,
the
trail
Pic
race.
10. Yeah,
Yeah, the Pic 10 was great, but there was Peter Warwick Marsh.
Yeah.
Best volunteer for years. He was just on the show recently.
Was he cool?
Yeah,
I love Peter.
Him and Brian Flores. He was there, and this was Robbie's first long distance run. And I was like, it's fine. It's a trail run. Like, you're going to be behind someone, so don't, you might be stuck. And Peter's there. We're all like, sweating and with just beers, passing out beers. And I'm like, I don't remember that in the description, but sure.
Yeah. By the way, Steve Coleman and he and I ran the New York City Marathon in 1990 together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't know you. I'm not surprised that that's crazy.
Good friends with Steve and Mark. Yeah.
What?
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe I did know that, but I'm having a brain fart. That's so crazy.
Yeah. He and I trained in Pelican Bay for years together.
Steve and Mark, they're some athletic dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to be connected with almost every runner in Southwest Florida. Did you like imagine, what was the intention when you first started back in the 70s down here with all these runners? What was the intention? And are you even close to what the initial intention was at all?
With regards to Gulf Coast runners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it started out, as I mentioned, with a kind of a group of long-haired, shirtless dudes running, from one point to the other so they could have a beer. I'm talking way too much about beer. But
it's fine.
No, I think that this group of people who saw the good in running and then coupling that with the camaraderie that running brings forth, but also raising funds for local charities that need the help, like the Shelter for Abused Women and Children, foster children, people that can't afford to drive themselves to get cancer treatment. That hits you pretty hard right in the middle of your chest, and it also makes you feel thankful that, you have the ability to help people and have fun doing it and building camaraderie and building a group that has a common goal and common thread. And we've now got, I think, 12 or 1,300 members in our club. And we put on 15 plus races a year. There's a lot of bigger cities, and I guess you would call Naples like a tertiary city. It's certainly not a primary or secondary, but
for sure.
When you look at running clubs in larger cities, they're diluted because they're more regional. So, for instance, Lee County has 3 running organizations. They used to have Fort Myers Track Club. We were still are very good cooperating organizations whereby we don't put on a major event on the same weekend they have one.
Sure.
We don't go into Lee County. They don't come into Collier County. But there's been 2 or 3 other running organizations that have formed. And so what has happened is there are more running groups, but they don't get the attendance. They don't get the numbers because the races are so abundant that instead of getting 1,000 people for a half marathon, they might get 150.
Yeah.
And so then they don't have the ability to raise funds for those charities.
Sure.
So it gets diluted. So the Gulf Coast Runners and Collier County and Naples in particular, that's why we want to keep such a great relationship with the city of Naples, because they trust us that we'll put on a good event. Doug Finley, who was a city councilman several years ago, he was the one who proposed that events held at city park venues should be nonprofits. Well, we qualified for that because we're a nonprofit. So the evolution of all of this, Jay, has been, for Gulf Coast Runners, is that we're not necessarily wanting to get bigger, but we want to serve the purpose and serve the community as efficiently and as best we can. And our board of directors, which I'm giving them a shout out, because I may be the president, but every one of the other board's members have a specific role. And without that teamwork, we wouldn't have what we've had for the last 35 years. And but yeah, it's a great feeling to be a part of this group that has evolved. I won't say so much grown, but evolved to where we've become a fine-tuned machine that is very rewarding, and I'm privileged to be a part of.
Yeah. The impact.
Yeah.
It's impactful, and that's why it's working.
Yeah.
I mean, truly.
With the way you describe the runs and how organized and well-tuned they are, and the fact that you guys are just shy of $1 million raised for all these nonprofits, it's insane the impact that the Gulf Coast Runners has had.
Yeah. It's the $1 million, Jay, is actually college and trade school scholarships.
That's just the scholarships.
Just the scholarships.
We've raised multi millions for nonprofits, local, and when we started, they were national associations, but we whittled it down to just locals. But yeah, so that's
It's great
obviously
impact.
a very rewarding aspect as well.
Yeah. So get out there and get involved with one of the races that Gulf Coast Runners puts on. You can become a member when you can save money on the race entry and then give it back in your donation button.
Yeah, click that little donation button.
Yeah,
Do a little fun.
absolutely.
Apparently it adds up quite a bit.
I know. I loved chatting with you.
Thank
I
you.
feel like I've
You as
known
well.
you and your kids since
Yeah,
we all did karate together, didn't we?
Right.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
known them since I was 5.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
so we grew up together. But
That's
it's
right.
been such a privilege to have you on.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be on, and thanks for inviting me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll always talk about Gulf Coast Runners.
I love it.
And actually, I got one more thing before
Yeah,
we
yeah,
wrap
yeah.
up. We haven't touched much about your brokerage and your real estate, but we did touch on briefly the fact that you are involved with a publication, is what I understand,
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah.
For
not to
restaurant
out you, but
reviews.
For restaurant reviews. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Could you tell us a little bit about that and what you've seen?
Yeah, so Stroll Magazine is kind of regionalized within Collier County, and we've been advertising our real estate business, the Norgart team, in Stroll Magazine downtown, and they asked us to take over an article that is written every month. And so Elle and I, my partner, decided that we would start doing restaurant reviews. And every restaurant review we've done in the last, I think, 10 months has been stellar, because if we go to a restaurant that we don't like, we just won't write about them. We won't,
for sure.
We'd rather not give them a negative critique.
Sure.
Just act like you didn't go.
Is
But-
it fair to say that there's not that many bad restaurants locally?
Well, again, I love food, and so
Okay.
I can find something good everywhere.
There it is. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a fun. Thank you for bringing that up. It's a fun way to not only keep your name out there, but also to meet people that you may not have met otherwise. And we kind of started doing off the beaten path restaurants. that maybe Neapolitans hadn't heard of or hadn't gone to, whether they're a full-time resident or a seasonal resident. We started writing and going to places that we probably wouldn't have gone if we weren't involved.
What are some of them? Do you mind sharing?
Yeah.
Well,
The ones that got the stellar reviews.
yeah, well, they all got them. The French restaurant on the East Trail, and it's on the right-hand side, and it's been like 20 restaurants over like the last 30 years. And
We'll find the name.
Yeah, it's
Love that one.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll clip it in.
He's referencing not the French that's on Fifth Avenue called the French. It is actually a French restaurant on East
Which
Naples.
is now closed.
Yeah.
Which is now closed.
It's going to be an Italian steakhouse. And of course, like Cosmos, but not, a lot of people who are seasonal or who are here visiting
They miss
don't
it.
know
Yeah.
about Gianluca and
Which is
Sal
fine because
and-
we love it. We love if we can just go. No, I'm kidding. I love
Yeah.
Cosmos.
Yeah.
And the whole crew there.
And some of them like rumba, and we do ethnic, and some places that a lot of Midwesterners who want steak and potatoes or a fish, salmon or sea bass, kind of spread your wings. And that's kind of what, we're trying to encourage people to, have you heard of Saigon to Paris?
I have heard that from actually Mark and Michelle. I think they mentioned it recently. I haven't been.
Yeah.
Is it good?
By the way, Michelle is from Peoria, where I'm from.
You're from Peoria?
Yeah.
We're going to Chicago Bears game this weekend.
Are you really?
Because Mark's a Giants fan, and we're going because she's a Bears fan. And
Yeah.
I've never been to an NFL game. I'm going to freeze my ass off.
Yes, you
I didn't
are.
know you're from Peoria.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I've lived in Naples for 49 years.
Right.
But,
But
I am
similar
from,
to her. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
That's
the little
Robbie's mom.
bond that we
Oh, okay.
had. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for bringing up the stroll thing. And Elle and I will give you guys a plug at our next
Oh.
article.
Love
We
that.
would love
Cool.
that.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Have you been to Fuse?
No. But
Add it to your list. I don't
Well,
know if you're looking for restaurants.
I know somebody whose office is right across the street who takes their life into their own hands, crossing 6 lanes of 41 to go there for for dinner. I don't know if they're open for lunch or not.
I'm not sure either. Their
Yeah.
bartender, my parents are a huge fan of Monica and everybody at Fuse because they used to live right there by Naples High. I was just on the phone with my dad this morning and I was like, we got to go to Fuse. We got to go see Monica. There are some of
That's
those
funny.
though, like kind of maybe not like off the beaten path or maybe a little smaller that haven't gotten the attention that they deserve, but those are the best. Like Nat Nat. I still need to try Nat Nat.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Nope.
We have a long
That's what I've
list
been
of
hearing a lot
places
of
we need to
people
try.
say Nat is the little secret spot now.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, and Elle and I love to cook. We cook almost every night, so we go to lunch
Okay.
at these places, and we have done some dinners, like Cyrene. We did, or Siren, however you
Yeah.
pronounce it. We did dinner there, and but we kind of like to do the lunch thing. But we have created on our iPhones in notes the ones that we have to go to.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is going to take us years.
It's going to take you years.
It's,
I know.
And I can't wait.
I know, right?
It's something to look forward to.
Well,
I have to just really quickly say, so we've been trying to go out to dinner or try things more because we too are kind of homebodies or whatever. We went to a place up here in Bonita. Put it on your list.
okay.
It's called A Table Apart. Have you heard of this?
No.
So it's off of Bonita Beach Road towards the beach, barefoot. You see like the steakhouse on your right by sea level, which is another great spot. And on the south side of the road it's called A Table Apart. It's a little old school, all locally sourced produce, everything on their menu. They have vegan options. They have gluten-free. It is a fish and steakhouse, but it is so good. And I highly recommend it.
Good.
I was blown
A table
away.
apart.
A Table Apart. And what a cute name.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of cute because they have different global cuisine that they bring in. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
Now
I'm hungry.
I kind of like doing we kind of started off by doing more city-based restaurants, but we said, you know what? we're going to run out of material if we don't expand.
Yeah.
So that's why we went to, for instance, Saigon to Paris, which is behind Tamiami Ford, way up on Airport Drive or
Yeah.
Airport Road. But we will
You
expand
really
even
don't
further
leave.
north.
Yeah.
You really don't leave downtown Naples, way up there.
Trying
on
not
Airport.
to, but you have to for this, right?
I know. Well, Naples, the greater Naples area is growing so much into, Bonita and out east towards Wilson. And there
Yeah.
are so many great gems. So we'll
So
keep you
true.
posted on what we
So
try.
true. Yeah.
Add it to y'all's shared note, okay? And yeah, thank you so much for coming. Everybody spread your wings, as he said earlier. Not only trying all these restaurants, but also running and enjoying everything that Gulf Coast Runners has to
Yeah.
offer.
And you can
thanks.
follow Gulf Coast Runners on Instagram.
Yep.
GC Runners.
At GC Runners.
At GC Runners.
Yeah.
To get all the race information. And
And you can just Google GCR or gcrunner.org or just put in Gulf Coast Runners.
yeah, it'll definitely come up, especially locally.
Yeah.
And then for the Thanksgiving Day race, just because this episode is timed around that,
Mm-hmm.
are there still spots available for that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So get in
people
there.
really sign up the 2 weeks out. You
Yes.
know, the families we'll have 300 to 400 people sign up on one day.
Oh, yeah. I usually sign up like 2 days before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you're like, what are the plans this year? We've got family here, and
Yeah.
is it the same this year? And then
Yeah.
it's like, great, I have time. Let's do it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't go out the night before. I've done that too. And if you do go out, still show up. Just walk.
And we have a special guest. We have a young lady who is a cappella vocalist who's going to
Do the
sing a
national?
cappella the national anthem.
Great.
And her mom and I have been conferring. She may want musical accompaniment, but she can sing it a cappella, which is, our sound system goes all the way down Fifth Avenue, turns right onto 8th Street, so that we can accommodate 5,000 people. And, we always have somebody who's extraordinary at doing the national
Yes.
anthem. And it's, always one year, Sean Nolan and our vocalist didn't show up, so he and I sang on the back of the truck. And we had Mayor Bill Barnett with us.
Oh.
And so we sang it a cappella, but we made the rest of the
crowd
Please
sing
with us.
Yes. That's awesome. No, it's
Yeah.
a great time. See you there Thanksgiving Day, which is the 27th
27th
of November.
7:30 a.m. So
Yeah. Get
go
there
to bed early the night before.
Exactly. And be ready for pie and all the fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been a
Thanks.
lot of fun.
We're so happy
Nice
to
to
have
meet
you
you.
on.
I've known her since she was a monkey. Or a little
I know. I'm still a monkey. No.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Yeah,
And
thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.